Hey tubers, it's Tony, and right quick we're going to talk about how to replace a bad turn signal switch in your 2006 Ford Explorer. I want you to keep in mind that this concept and process should be the same for just about any of the Ford Explorers that you currently drive out there today. If you follow my simple step-by-step instructions today, you will be able to replace your turn signal switch in about 25 minutes. Just take your time. I've already replaced the turn signal switch in this vehicle to try and save time in this video. The reason I did that is because on this old switch that came out of the vehicle, on this arm, everything worked correctly except for, let's say I'm in the right lane and I hit the turn signal to switch over to the left lane, or I'm trying to make a left turn, the signal switch would not stay lit. I would have to keep my hand on it to keep it lit. So what I did was I snapped a photograph of the current turn signal that was on the vehicle, went to the junkyard, matched it up with another turn signal that looked exactly like it. I've already installed it and it works fine. It cost me about $20 from the junkyard. If you cannot find a turn signal switch at the junkyard, you want to go to rockauto.com. After you put in your vehicle's information, go to the electrical switch category and you'll find turn signals. Just make sure it looks just like yours before you purchase it if you decide to go that route. Again, I'm going to tell you everything you need to do this job correctly. I'm going to tell you all the tools you'll need. This is a really easy and simple job, guys. I know a lot of people or some folks need to see you do everything step by step in a video. This is not one, okay? It's just way too simple. The first thing you're going to need is a new turn signal switch, of course. So I wanted to give you what your old turn signal looks like inside. Okay, your turn signal switch is retained by two T120 bolts, okay? So you'll need to break a bolt loose here and a bolt there. We'll get to that in a moment. So of course, with that in mind, you'll need a T120 bit, okay, to break loose those two bolts that hold in the turn signal switch. You'll need a short 1/4 inch driver. You'll need a 5.5 millimeter socket, and I'll show you when to use that. You'll need a 7 millimeter socket and a 1/4 inch ratchet, okay? The first thing you want to do, guys, and again, I'm going to show you where all this stuff is as quickly as I can, and keep in mind, I'm not going to take anything apart because it's way too easy. The first thing you want to do is sit in the driver's seat and you're going to look to where your feet is. There's a panel that is retained by two 7 millimeter bolts. You're going to break those two 7 millimeter bolts loose. Once you remove those two bolts, the panel slides up and off. Keep in mind, everything that you take apart goes back together in the reverse order that you will use to take it apart. If you're unsure about what you're doing, make a video or snap photographs as you go along the way. Should you run into any problems, you can reflect back to your video or photographs and correct your problem. The next thing you want to do is right beneath the turn signal switch, you're going to find two 5.5 millimeter bolts. Break those two loose, and then down to where you remove that first panel, you're going to find a third 5.5 millimeter bolt. It's on the same cover that holds the two back here. Break those two bolts loose, and then what you want, those three bolts rather, and then what you want to do is take a flat blade or flathead screwdriver, and pop the plastic cover loose that surrounds the turn signal switch. And I'll show you again where all this is. Once you pop the cover loose, you'll find an electrical connector down here. It has a little tab on it. Push it in, pull the electrical connector loose, break loose the T120 bolt here or screw, and then the other T120 screw there. And then the turn signal just comes out. The turn signal switch just comes out. I want you to pay special attention to how you took it out, because it goes right back in the way you took it out. There's nothing difficult about it. I just want you to pay attention to it. Then once you put your new turn signal switch in, make sure you hook up your electrical connector, put in your bottom T120 screw here, put in the other one back there, put your bottom cover on, and then the top cover snaps into the bottom cover. So you want to pay special attention and make sure it's lined up, snap it into place. Then you can put your 2 bolts on here, then your 3rd bolt on. Okay, so that's 3 5.5 millimeter bolts, 2 directly under the turn signal switch and 1 just away from it. Once you make sure that those are on nice and tight, don't strip them, screw them on until they're nice and tight and then back off. Then you can put your cover on, slide it back into its housing, put your 2 7 millimeter bolts back in. Then you can go ahead and test your turn signal, guys, and you should be good to go. Again, the turn signal that I got from the junkyard works fine, so I no longer need to keep my hand on it to turn left. When I switch it now, it stays on until I make a full left turn or until I turn it off. So let me run out to the car right quick and show you where everything is. Again, keep in mind, I'm not going to take anything apart because this is just way too easy. All right, so hold tight, guys. Okay, guys, here we are at the car. There's the old turn signal switch. The first thing you want to do is break loose these 2 7 millimeter bolts, one there and one there. This cover just slides up and out, set that to the side. Then you'll have a 5.5 millimeter bolt up in there to break loose. And then you'll have 2 right here to break loose. Then what you do is take a flat blade screwdriver, wedge it gently down into this groove, pop the cover free. Then you want to take the top part off. Keep in mind, guys, you can adjust the steering wheel so that you can get to things better. Once you remove these 2 covers, then right back there, guys, is one T120 screw, and then right here inside this plastic is another T120 screw. Take loose the electrical connector. Your old one goes back in, just like you pulled. Your new one goes back in, just like you pulled the old one out. Hook up your electrical connector. Put in your 2 T120 bolts, one there, one there. Put your bottom cover back on. Snap your top cover back in and make sure to line the top cover up with the grooves on the bottom cover. That's how it snaps into place. Put your 3 5.5 millimeter bolts back in, okay? Make sure you adjust your steering wheel when you're done. Put your cover back on, guys, and you're done. All you need to do is just test your turn signal to make sure it works. Again, it's just that easy, guys. So I hope this video has been beneficial and helpful to you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.